Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing a timepiece that I authentically love. This is the Schaffhausen that I adore. IWC Portuguese or Portugieser Automatic, the reference 5007-03, a model launched in 2015, the last wholesale redesign of the Portuguese line. The timepiece represents IWC's classical oversized dress watch in stainless steel, and on my 16cm circumference wrist, the 42.2mm case wears a treat. 42.2mm in diameter, the watch is neither thick nor thin. 14.2mm thick, so it'll slip underneath any jacket cuff and most dress sleeves, truth be told. Lug-to-lug, it's broad but not monstrous. At 50.3mm, I can recommend this Portugieser for a wrist as small as 14cm in circumference, and mindful of styling trends in the modern era, the watch has a lovely 22mm spacing between its lugs. Now the timepiece, as you see it right here, is easy to wear. It's also handsomely made, but it's correct and true to history in that the timepiece, being large, references the original reference 325 of 1939, created to satisfy IWC's Portuguese importers. They wanted a wristwatch that was as accurate as a pocket watch, with the result that they put a pocket watch movement in a wristwatch, hence the giant form of the Portuguese line. Of course, Schaffhausen being German Switzerland, they call it a Portugieser. That's why you'll alternately hear the watch called a Portuguese and Portugieser. The strap is large rectangular scale alligator leather, black semi-gloss. You can see there is a sheer-sided construction that shows you the layers and a monotone stitch. Calfskin on the underside. This is a excellent condition IWC factory strap with an IWC factory buckle, and the buckle is substantial. As you can see, it features both satin and polish externally, and then internally you can see IWC Schaffhausen. They won't let you forget it. The case band, traditional, narrow, slim, like a lot of watches that never went out of production, effectively remaining in production from vintage times. The Portugieser has a narrow case band, and you'll see that same vintagey phenomenon at play with the Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch and most variants of the Breitling Navitimer. What sets the Portugieser apart is that it featured the blended lug philosophy that became popular during the 1930s. You can see the same blended case and lug profile in the Patek Philippe Reference 96, a 30mm watch that in retrospect was hailed as the first Calatrava. Well, this watch hails from the same Art Deco design era, infused with a little bit of Bauhaus form follows function logic. On the dial, which comprises almost all of the case, you can see just how thin the bezel really is, and it's also concave to pair its visual mass. But you can see that the dial is a matte black with applique indices for the hours as well as applied Arabic numerals, small seconds with railroad track, and counterweighted needle seconds hand at 9. There's a power reserve indicator, a 7-day power reserve indicator at 3 o'clock. You've got a date down at 6 o'clock. You have leaf or foy style hands, and then you have a railroad style minutes track outboard. If you get close, you could see that there's actually a slight amount of countersync for the registers, so the dial has additional focal planes. You also note the artful slope or faceting of the transition from the dial plane down to the date disc. There's a little bit of a faceting and a slope to the aperture itself. Now the watch features an IWC manufacturer caliber 52010. This is the 52,000 series version of a movement that debuted as the 5,000 series back in the year 2000. Back then, it had a single mainspring barrel and it beat away at 18,000 vibrations per hour. Today, the watch has twin mainspring barrels and it beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. So a modern high beat balance. You could see that the balance is both free sprung for shock resistance and to better take and hold the chronometer style 5-position adjustment, and it's blessed with a handmade overcoil hairspring, so it has the free sprung architecture for precise adjustment and toughness, and then it has the overcoil hairspring, so in each of those 5 positions the hairspring breathes concentrically and the watch neither speeds up nor slows. Another innovation since the original version of this movement, you have the Pellaton pawl based bidirectional winding system, still highly efficient. The system, invented in the early 1950s by IWC watchmaker Albert Pellaton, now features unlubricated ceramic pawls and pawl wheel in ceramic to reduce the old problem of dirt on the movement created when these were metal mechanical components. Now, the twin barrels have a specific purpose. They don't increase the power reserve, which remains at 7 days, but what they do is they prevent an enormous amount of variation in the rate of the watch. The single mainspring barrel version of this movement would run very fast when fully wound, and then very slowly when discharged. And the result of the twin barrel arrangement is much more even torque and consistent rate, so the watch neither runs very fast when fully wound nor very slowly when mostly discharged. All of this 31 jewels protected down to 30 meters, and you can see the IWC Schaffhausen rose gold logo inside of the skeletonized winding wheel. You'll also note that the timepiece is largely skeletonized. Most of the bridges do display the wheel architectures or the barrel architectures underneath them, so for fans of mechanical watchmaking per se, this is a sight for sore eyes. As I said, some watches are collector catnip. The watch also features stop seconds as well as a quick set date. You can see it and make it yours on the watch box.